Hi everyone, welcome to another podcast from A Cosmic Conversation with me, Marie.
I'm me, Tina.
We are in our location of that village I can't say.
Sazlikui.
Oh, it's Sazlikui, it's not Zebaku.
No.
Sazlikui, I said it then. And we are in a beautiful church that has been restored.
Yeah.
Lovely. And we're overlooking the mountains again. And on the fields. So we've got a fantastic location and a great sense of history with us today. Talking of history, what a segue into the history of tarot.
There's mainly three theories because we're going to talk about the history. We're not going to go into in depth of how you use the tarot. That will be another podcast.
Yeah.
So today we're just going to give a background
and what we know.
So I found out there's three main theories of where they've actually originated. One is Egypt, two is China, and three is a Hebrew theory. So let's start with the Egyptian theory.
Yeah.
Which I do go with. I did years ago. My first tarot deck, apart from which we'll talk about later, is the Rider-Waite one. After that, I did go into Egyptian ones because I read somewhere, and you know what, I searched high and low and I can't find it, that there were hieroglyphs of the major arcana. Now, the cards are today, the cards are set into four suits like playing cards are.
Yeah.
And they're given different names, but they're basically swords, cup, wands, and coins, yes, or pentacles. And the major arcana, which is 22 cards, are named cards. And this Egyptian thing that I saw years and years ago, I was a kid, so it wasn't on the internet. It was a book somewhere that the hieroglyphs are on something to do with Thoth or Thoth, it's spelt.
We'll come to that later. Yeah, the Thoth tarot cards.
In hieroglyphs on an Egyptian wall somewhere.
So that would tie in with some of the things that I know that I've heard about the African roots of tarot.
Yeah, so Egyptian supporters believe the tarot is derived from Ta, meaning tail, and Ro, which means king or sort of emperor, like a wise ruler, I guess. And a lot of the times, in all of them, really, they were played by the nobles. So they believe the tarot is an ancient book of Thoth, or is the ancient book of Thoth.
You mean Thoth?
Thoth or Thoth. I've heard some people say Thoth version, or the Chinese theory. In the Tang dynasty, a monk who was proficient in astronomy called Yi Hong, he invented a card game. It was around 772 AD-ish.
Oh, wow.
And it was a game called Leaf Play. So that was played by nobles. And that contained 40 cards in four suits, a bit like today's normal playing cards.
Yeah. Which is a 52 deck, isn't it?
Is it now? Yeah, because you've got aces and the court cards, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I reckon them cards sort of related to almanac calculations because he was an astronomer, and our minor arcana of today probably has its roots. When I say arcana, in the tarot you've got the major arcana and the minor arcana. So like I said, the minor arcana is the four suits that we have, like playing cards, same sort of thing. And I think that's probably, so from that Chinese version, that's where that's come from. I think
it's sort of added on, isn't There's lots of things, isn't there?
Then there's the Hebrew theory. So in Jewish, Tara means law. 19th century occultist Levi found 22 letters of Hebrew correspondence to the 22 paths in the Tree of Life. So that could be
Eliphas Levi.
When I looked at it, it didn't say his second name, but there could only be one Levi.
His second name is Levi.
Yeah, must be. Yeah.
That says in 1854 on the information I've got.
Yeah. The Tree of Life has 22 paths, so that could be where the major arcana comes from.
Yeah. He associated tarot with letters of Hebrew alphabet.
Yeah.
The the Kabbalah and elements of planets and zodiac signs.
Yeah. So you've got that, that astronomy bit from the Chinese, ain't you?
Yeah. You've got numbers
Yeah.
from the Chinese area, would you say?
Yeah. When you look at, there's another game that they play like.
Well, they said some of these cards, which will come to the Italy bit, but when it comes to the 15th century of the Italians, which has been documented in manuscripts and diaries referring to the cards, and in them they had the Trump images, Empress, Death and Fall. So it had come somewhere else.
So that's, the major arcana.
Yeah. And so they say it's from the Italian roots of it, they say it's the modern game of bridge.
Ah.
You know, and that's when, I don't want to jump into something else, but it's just that's when it gravitated, the French people took
towards playing a game.
Yeah, and they were into the Renaissance and the Egyptian historical, all the mysteries and everything, and that's when it became more important and changed again.
The oldest deck in existence, as far as we know, is that Visconti in Italy. That was a 15th century set of cards that are now in the National Library of Paris.
Yeah, they would stay there, wouldn't they? Because they brought them to France.
Yeah, so that had 17 major arcana. So we're getting up to 20.
Yeah, well, from Italy when it comes to France, and then they developed inner and spiritual development. Marseille, that was being the centre of the tarot producing industry as well, where they made the cards.
And they would have been, again, played by nobles and the rich.
Yeah.
In the Middle Ages, tarot was regarded as heresy, and a lot of times they were burned and no one was allowed to use them.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Yeah. When you look at it now, that's where the superstition or
I was
whatever comes
say,
from.
What era?
The church.
What era did you just say?
The Middle Ages.
You mean when everything was getting like
burning witches?
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
So
yeah.
That's where it comes from today. If you know someone who is religious, I know somebody that is like, oh no, she's a Jehovah's Witness. You can't use them. They're dangerous. No, they're not dangerous. They're just an extension of you. They're just tools. They're not an outside influence. You are the one that is doing the reading. There's nothing outside coming in. It's just an extension of you.
Yeah, and when I've experienced or seen anybody doing it from when I didn't know anything, it all come back to you, whoever the cards were being dealt for. You had that power. That's the difference. They thought the people doing all the dealing, you get me, putting them and saying that they had the power, and they were the bad ones.
It's not the cards
it's all
that
about
are evil or anything.
Yeah.
Remember, we always come back to the same thing in whatever thing we do. We are all one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're all part of what's going on in that region.
Yeah, we're all part of the whole.
Yeah.
So that it's not an outside influence. It's not demons running it or nothing. So let's talk about this Levi fella. So at the end of the 19th century, he had a follower called Gerard. He added numerology, and so now that's used in the modern tarot system. But although when you look at the Chinese, they use numerology a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So it came in somewhere between there. But apparently, he added numerology to the modern tarot system. He got together the first modern tarot. It's a book called The Tarot of the Bohemians, and it's the first complete monograph on tarot. Then you've got the Golden Dawn, which is a secret society with A.E. Waite and Pamela Coleman Smith.
Oh, right. Is it Rider?
Rider Waite.
Rider Waite Smith deck.
Yeah, that's it. Pamela Coleman Smith. This is the first main modern one that everybody starts out with.
Right. Well, that's
I
interesting.
did
You
as a
might not
beginner.
know that.
I think that's like the first modern deck that, you know,
It was an
had
occultist, wasn't it?
everything in it. So yeah, it was Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn in 1891. And then in 1910, yeah, A.E. Waite, Arthur Waite, he joined, and they produced this deck with Pamela Colman Smith, who did the illustrations.
Yeah.
And then we had Alistair Crowley in the same
Yeah.
secret society, which eventually I think he got chucked out and went his own way, and then he produced the Thoth deck, Thoth Tarot.
Coming back to the deck that you just said.
The Rider Waite, yeah. It's the most famous deck in the world.
They said it was produced to use expressively for fortune telling.
Yeah.
All the minor trump and court cards, they spruced them up basically.
Yeah.
That's what they said. It seemed to open up the cards for a easier understanding, and that comes back to maybe what you just said. That's what most people start off with.
Yeah.
And for the everyday person.
Yeah, they are easier to pick up and learn because of the images, but there is so much in each card.
Yeah.
So much information with numbers,
yeah,
symbolism, colours, everything means something.
In this day and age, no matter if the let's say they take the theme of Star Wars or Harry Potter or something, because there's that many.
There are.
I've seen a gummy bear one.
Really?
I'm not kidding you, a gummy bear tarot.
Well, I've got my own tarot I designed called the Demon Realm Tarot.
Is that available?
It is on NPC playing cards, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So anybody. So say it again. Your cards were called
the Demon Realm Tarot, which I originally made for a screenplay that I wrote, Tarot of the Demons, so that I didn't have copyright and I could use my own cards. You did have
copyright, you mean?
Sorry, so that I did have copyright.
Yeah.
I didn't have to have copyright issues with other people's. So I thought I'll use my own, and now I use them as my own
Your
cards.
own deck, don't you? And it's like, so mostly anything that's like reproduced now, they say, so it's some up for debate, is that it's taken from Pamela Colman Smith's images.
Some of them are completely different. Mine have got a few, like little bits and bobs that I've picked out that I think are relevant to the meaning of that card.
Well, pick on one card, and what have you done different in it?
What have I done different? Okay, well, the Star is a Major Arcana card.
Right.
And it is 7 stars. Whereas I think a lot of the times there's a lot of religious aspects in the tarot in the Rider-Waite. I've gone completely away from that. Obviously, it's called the Demon Realm. There are sort of angel figures in there, but my Star one is like an image of an outline of a light body of the yoga position.
Yeah.
With in the sky, in space with the stars. Like as in the chakra positions because of the 7 chakras. So I added that. That's sort of.
So you're part of history.
Some type of.
We're all part of history, but I mean, your cards are part of history.
Yeah.
Do you know of the tarot history?
Yeah.
Yeah, be proud, man. Be loud, be proud. We were going on about well done for that, because that's energy, like writing a book, like you have.
Painting my own,
things like that.
78. I'll have to show you them. 78 pictures.
Yeah. And it's amazing, because that would be something that look.
And it was getting to the fact. Journey.
Yeah.
It was.
I was going to get to I was going to say something similar, is that creating those images, that deck is a part of you.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and the characters in it, to me, they're real, because I manifested them, because I made them.
So, you know what I mean? Going back to the people who have changed the look, to their own images, or easier for people to read, or however you want to put that. It's sort of like we're carrying on their vision of what that card represents.
Yeah, and everybody sees the pictures, the meanings
I was going to say,
in
you
their
see them
own
different
way.
ways.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Because you remember when you did a reading for me the once, then I did one for you, and that was, do you know what? The only reason it was hard is because it wasn't good news. And I'm not that, when I say expert, I've done it,
Yeah.
and I haven't done it for a while, but it wasn't the best that could come to you, but it was the truth.
I find that they don't lie. The only cards are, but then I think that was the Rider-Waite ones. She didn't like them, or she'd moved on. She hadn't really used them. That's the thing. You don't really want second-hand ones. She just sort of opened them and straight away they didn't resonate with her.
Well, yeah, that's
so
another
she gave it to
place
me,
where
and to
you're
me
coming
they
from,
did straight away.
You're
Immediately.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, because you've brought up another situation where they would have been somebody else's, and then they give them to you, right? And do you think that there's anything over them cards that...
It's someone else's energy if somebody else has used them.
Right.
If they've bought you a new deck,
that's what I meant. Yeah.
Fine. Yeah. But there's no harm in going in a shop now and buying your own, because someone might not give you a deck.
I've been told for years, and I'm not joking, not recently, but no, you can't go and buy your own. It's bad luck. That's what I was told.
Yeah.
You know. So, you know, brand new set I was bought and that. Let's go back to the
history.
Well, it sort of is history of, can you go and buy them yourself? Are they gifted to you? So it's part of the history of them. And so where did we start from? We started the origin.
The three theories.
Yeah, the three theories, and then we ended up going to Italy, didn't we? After
the first evidence of a real deck was the Visconti.
Yeah.
In Italy, 15th century.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we went all the way through that, and we got to that point, and you mentioned him, and I thought, oh God, you know, I looked into this one a bit more about Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
He was known as a magician, a secret agent, you know, and things like that. I mean, he performed something, you know, for people, doing things at a distance. You know, the imagery, if you can affect something from a distance. So the thing is, right, he made his own, didn't he?
He got away from the Golden Dawn.
Right.
And made his own deck, the Thoth, which is Egyptian.
Yeah. And that was with a lady called, I think I'm saying the name correctly, Lady Frida Harris. And it was like a fresh perspective. And there was a mass market for this.
Yeah.
There was an absolute mass market. And they say it's the best. And I've put a question mark on my little note here. Is it? Is it really?
So he must have gone more towards the Egyptian theory. Probably had disagreements in the group.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I had to look, you know, just to have an image of them. I'm thinking, they look dark, if you get me. Yeah, he was English, Aleister Crowley, wasn't he?
Do you know what? He deserves a podcast because he's a very strange character. Not very nice. Done some very strange things.
We should do one on him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, we should.
That's easy. But so, coming up, when I say coming up to date, that is the only like sort of major last one, the Thoth or the Thoth Tarot that I know of. So like I say with Aleister Crowley, the Thoth or the Thoth Tarot is sort of like one of the major last ones that I know of.
The Rider-Waite is still the most popular in the whole wide world.
Is it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he just broke away and done his own. I think he opened up the doors for other people to start doing their own versions.
Oh.
And of course, like you said, you can get a million different versions. And whatever rocks your boat, go with it.
Yeah. So, do you know of any like Is this something you do solitary learning, or do you have groups or anything like
You
that?
always say about groups.
I
don't
do,
you?
because
Yeah.
I think it's important for people
I'm
to
sure
know.
you can. Yeah.
You know, have a look in your local area.
Yeah.
You
For
know.
me, it was a personal thing. I would every night, and the thing is, the tarot deck is numbered, so in order it starts from 0, which is the full. You know, the major arcana is basically, like they say, like the tree of life. It's the story of life through death and rebirth. It's the ever-turning circle of life, which some people say the word tarot is like rota, because
Right,
it
okay.
goes around and around and around like the ever-turning wheel of life. So I would have, with my first deck, slept with each one under my pillow, meditated on it, spoke to the person in the card, put it under my pillow and slept on it. And that's how I would remember the meanings. And then I would look at the book and see the meanings, but, you know, go with your instinct. There's 2 ways of reading. You can do instinct, you know, your spiritual, what you think, or you can look at the textbook meanings, or mix the 2 together.
Well, I would, if you agree, if you don't, just say, obviously, is that look it up. Look a bit more into the history of how tarot come about. There must be some things that...
It's good to know the history. If
Yeah.
you're starting out in tarot, find out about the history before you just go out and buy a pack. And have a look online on Google Images. At
I'm going to be
decks,
the next septic peg. You know what I mean?
Different pictures.
Yeah. Go and do your background.
Yeah.
And see what suits you. Well, you may be from a culture that maybe you want a certain type of card that you can resonate with. Deck. You know what I mean? That you resonate with. I think, is it one of those things where you go and find one and you go, that speaks to me?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good advice from me. Thank you. No, but I mean, you know what I mean? I would presume that's how it works.
I've had decks that I've bought and opened them up and then thought, no, I can't feel nothing, can't see nothing, and then I've gifted them away.
Ah.
You know.
So you've gifted them yourself, like, to other people?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
All right then.
yeah.
Is there anything else? Oh, there's one thing I was going to say. Stay curious about your cards, the history, the way to use them. Get comfortable with the abstract images and the difference of how they come across, how the artistry is done, and just pick out that one deck that maybe resonates with you. That's what I was going to say. Don't be afraid. Again, look into the history and learn about correspondence, how things resonate, like the tree of life, and things like that. Learn about that. Get your background, would you say, instead of just diving in.
Yeah, if you understand
the history,
where they come from,
yeah,
it will help you to remember the meanings.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's podcast brought to you from Sazlikun, and you've been brought this podcast in association with
TRNC Animal Rescue Family.
And you can make a donation to that fantastic charity by going to PayPal.
SOSDogs2017@outlook.com.
Yeah, the history of tarot. The next one is, the experiences of tarot. See you next time on A Cosmic Conversation. Goodbye from me, Marie.
And goodbye from me, Tina.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.